But now, next one on our list here, next team is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Once again, because if you're watching us on YouTube, you're catching this. Basically, this is the first segment you're watching, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Eric and I write the Fantasy Baseball Almanac and Draft Guide. If you're watching us on YouTube, check the link below. You will see a link directly to the guide. Why are we awesome? Well, we help you kick ass on draft day. We help you win draft day, and then we give you free in-season support. There's a pipeline. There's instructions on how to get it, and you get right from the horse's mouth, as I figured out. Eric helped me with that saying. I couldn't get it right. You get it right from us. You get direct contact to both me and Eric. So check it out. We did really well last year. A lot of our readers won their leagues. Eric's a monster when it comes to baseball because he knows the farm systems. He knows the everything else. And I'm pretty good with analytics, if I do say so myself. But let's talk about the Pirates, Eric. I'm looking at our rankings. I see Josh Bell and then nothing else in terms of what you like in our guide. Talk to me about Josh Bell and then talk to me about the rest of the hitters real quick.
Bell is he's really good. I think the knock on him is going to be he continues to the last 2 years, let's say, he started out really strong and kind of faltered at the end. But he is a really good player. The problem with him is there is absolutely no one around him. The only other hitter on there I would even remotely draft would be Brian Reynolds. And I like him a lot. I think he's got a lot to offer, and I think he can improve on his numbers from last year. Be a good, mid to late round.
Would you call him a sleeper or just, hey, throw a flyer out? A sleeper or a flyer?
I couldn't really call him a sleeper because I think more people know about him, even though he's on the Pirates, so it's kind of hard to get him out there. But I wouldn't put him on so much of a sleeper or a flyer. He's a good, really good player. He showed out really well last year, and he's definitely worthy of an ad. But outside of that, if you're desperate for outfield, take a shot on Gregory Polanco, but he just hasn't proven enough yet. He hasn't been able to stay healthy or productive in the long haul, but I wouldn't mind taking a shot on him in the very late rounds if I'm desperate for an outfielder. Outside of that, just run screaming from this team.
Nothing at pitcher you don't like, and I'm looking. I don't see anything. Mitch Keller is the only one that we even have ranked at a tier 5.
I think we have Archer on there, but we might have Archer on there, but I've made my feelings abundantly clear on Chris Archer.
Yeah, no, we don't have a ranking. I mean, he's on our rankings. Don't get me wrong, but he's not in our top 300. So he's kind of in a bottom tier for us in terms of pitchers, meaning he's good enough to make the almanac, but not good enough to get our stamp, our seal of approval. So yeah, Archer. Tell me, because I love when you kind of go on this rant. Tell me about the trade.
I think I've rehashed this way too many times. Look, I can't remember a trade that hideous in a long time. I was watching, checking Twitter over and over as the deadline rolled down, and keep seeing the Braves were in, and I said, dear God, don't do it. And I'm seeing all these ideas. Oh, they could throw this guy in there. I'm like, why? And then I saw what the Pirates gave up, and I just said, thank God Alex Anthopoulos isn't a reactive moron. It was awful, and I mean, the only reason he's still there and hasn't been, dumped for salary is because he's on a fairly affordable contract, and the Pirates like to cry poverty.
Yeah, sure. Well, ceiling, obviously you're not super high on this team. You think they're going to be in the cellar, right? So what's the ceiling? What's the best they can possibly do in your opinion?
Everything goes right, maybe 4th place.
Brutal. Hey, look, listen to that. So Pittsburgh, I know Pittsburgh fans are going to be hitting me. Let me say this. So I'm the football guy, right? That defense was fantastic this year. When Ben Roethlisberger comes back next year with this stable of receivers, I think they're definitely going to vie for the division with the Baltimore Ravens. So let me give some love to the city of Pittsburgh, because you're certainly not getting it from the baseball side.
I think you don't have to tell them. I think that I feel for them having to watch what happened last year, and I'm not just talking about on the field stuff. Everything that went down with that team I mean, between what we saw in the dugouts and everything that obviously went on with Mr. Vasquez there, and I'm not going to get details on all of that.
Sure.
Family friendly show and all.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, they've got some hope coming. They've got a couple of prospects. I like Brian Hayes. He may make his way up this year and would be a decent ad. But as a whole, that team is just. I feel bad for a lot of Pirates fans. We've all been there at some point or another. You're there now with your Orioles. Don't
remind me that I root for the Orioles, please. Please, I lose all credibility in this podcast when people find out I'm an Orioles fan. Oh my goodness, it's like the Scarlet Letter, the Scarlet O. Why did you have to go do that and bum me out? I was in a good mood until you reminded me that I like Baltimore. And again, I'll remind everybody. So I grew up a Washington Redskins fan and a Baltimore Orioles fan. Mind you, the Baltimore Ravens were probably the number one team in my power rankings, and the Washington Nationals won the World Series. I got it wrong. You got to flip it. And now I'm mired in the two crappiest franchises in their respective sports. How does this happen? How do I root for the worst franchises in the respective sports? How does that happen? How do I root for the one baseball team that's just like, you know what, we're not going to invest in Latin America? How does it happen? How do I end up with that?
This is one where we can blame the parents, you know?
It's true.
I defected away from mine. I defected away from my family. I went the right way. I got away from the Yankees. But you followed your dad, and he took you down a dark path.
A dark path, and I'm shaking loose of it in the football side. That's such a disgusting franchise. But city of Pittsburgh. Let me remind you, I like Sidney Crosby, man. He's really good. Even though I am partial that Washington. That Beltway. I am partial to Alex Ovechkin, but Sidney Crosby's sick. He's awesome. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, like I said, they're definitely going to be a really good team next year. They're definitely a bounce back team. Can't wait to watch them.